have to cut this shakedown short. Clipped a bird at the end. So we decided to stop after 2 5-lap runs. But the main thing we do when we're working on doing a shakedown or bringing a car out on track for the first time, the first 2 laps, just obviously being easy. You've got a brand new set of tires you're working on. So having to bed in tires are pretty standard, how we want to build up that temperature gently and let the pressure build. Now in those first couple laps, we obviously want to make sure the car's tracking straight, fluids and everything is staying inside the car the way it's supposed to. So as a driver, the big thing I'm working on the first couple laps is just straight line acceleration and braking, gentle initially and then gradually building up more G's. Straight line braking is telling me, I try to loosen my grip on the wheel and it'll tell us whether we're starting to track right or left, get an idea of any potential toe issues. Acceleration, same thing. So if that rear is moving under throttle and it does more so with more throttle, that tells us as we transfer that weight to the rear, if that toe is off, you'll start to feel it. You'll notice it in the steering wheel. So those initial laps really need to be nice and easy. You don't want to put too much force into the car, and you want to be a fairly light touch on your inputs as well to see if it's going to pull you one direction or another and start to feel what that car's doing. As things come up to temperature, after those 2 laps, we come in, do a pressure check, do a visible inspection on the car, make sure everything's good. If everything's up to temperature nicely, we try to even out our pressures and then go back out for a few more laps. So we did that. We went out for 3 more laps, starting to bring up that pace more, get into the braking a little bit harder, start to feel where that ABS is kicking on, learn some of the characteristics of the chassis at high speed while you've got some aero on different loads, whether you're loading the nose, loading the rear, or trying to stay balanced, and then low speed stuff. Now getting into that mechanical grip. What does the car trail brake like on a long progressive right-hander like Quarry here? What does that feel like? Can you roll on and off the throttle to transition weight forward and backward? How does that impact the chassis and the handling? And then what do those tire temperatures and pressures look like once we come in for that? Everything felt great. We went out for another 5 laps, and then in that 5 laps just clipped a bird with the right front grille, pushed through the mesh, touching the radiator. So for us today, that's gonna call it quits. We're gonna make sure everything's mechanically fine. Fortunately, all the coolant's staying inside the car, but we'll still unfortunately clean up our little birdie friend, clean up the car, make sure everything's good, and we'll be running it this weekend here at Calabogie for the Club Calabogie event. For us, shaking down here at Calabogie is awesome because you have a whole variety of corners, high speed, low speed, elevation changes, decreasing radius, all that fun stuff to really start to dial in the chassis. So happy so far. The Porsche GT4 RS Club Sport feels great. It's comfortable. Out of the box, feels nice and smooth, everything working right. So far so good. We'll do some cleanup and hopefully make some more progress this weekend.